Hi, it's me Ash from Crack Minis. I'm gonna make a robo cowboy.
So, good news and bad news. I'm back, which is, I guess, good news. Bad news is, before I had to take my little break for the birth of my son, I made this and I'd edited it all ready for voiceover. Since then, because I've been so busy over the last few weeks, I've completely forgotten everything that I did. So, bear with me, because I basically watched this for the first time along with you. Don't get me wrong, I do remember what I was trying to do. I wanted to build Cage, which is one of the characters that I came up with before I took my break. And I did this with beads and plenty of clay. I said he was a gunslinger, so I wanted to lean more into that western theme as I built it. Okay, so I started obviously with the armature wire and throwing some beads on. These were for the skeleton, just to give me something to work on top of and give me an idea of what the proportions were going to be. When I designed the character, I knew I wanted it to be quite gangly, so I wasn't too worried about scale and just went with what I felt was right. Okay, so once those arms and legs were sorted, I filled up the middle of the body with green stuff. This was because I wanted it to be a bit more flexible so I could twist it and bend it just how I wanted the posing to look. So green stuff was on, got more green stuff, mixed it with a bit of superfine white. Superfine white holds a lot more detail than green stuff does, but it can be very powdery. Now, mixing them together gives you sort of the best of both worlds and holds that detail and gives you the ability to have nice fine edges, but gets rid of that powderiness and keeps the malleability of green stuff. Okay, so after I bolted out the body and sorted that midsection out a bit, I started on the limbs. So for that I threw clay on in pieces just so I could bend the arms and legs at the knees and like all the joints and stuff, just because it's making my life easier when posing. Also, it give it more robotic feel. I added panels on the limbs and the body to give it a more robotic feel. This also varied the shape and would help me later on when I painted. And on his arm stumps, I stuck on some orc pistols because I wanted them to fit his size. It didn't really matter about the hands because I covered those with some beads and plastic art later on to make them look all robot-y. I made belts out of green stuff and strapped them on his body. I also used it to make bandages. I know he's a robot and robots don't technically need bandages, but I don't know, maybe it makes him feel like he's healing from holes that have been shot in his body. Maybe it's to keep the dust out of those holes and keep it from affecting his mechanical workings or something. Actually, that makes more sense than the first thing I said, so disregard that and just go with the second one. I made the head on the tip of one of my clay stabbers. And just a little ball of green stuff on the top, and I poked some eyes and a mouth in it with a little screwdriver. I made the hat, which is just a flat circle of clay with another blob on top, supposed to say, pushed into a shape. Then I refined it a bit more off camera, which you'll see later on. Glued on a load of hemispherical beads for rivets. And this is me doing it on the screen. And there's the hat in a more refined shape. I had to cut the top of his head off to make sure that the hat fit properly, and then sat right. Threw on some bullets to make that belt he was wearing across his chest, a bandolier. I think that's the right word, it's bandolier, isn't it? From a western. I also threw on a load of guns because I felt like 2 wasn't enough. Okay, so now I'm going to be painting. Normally this is story time, but I'd sat down and I wrote out this story for Cage, and then I've reread it since, and I realised it's just the story about Lord Josie Wales, but with robots. And yeah, so if you want to know his story, just watch Outlaw Josie Wales, but make everyone robots. And there you go. So I'm just going to talk about the painting. I started by painting the whole thing black. I also sponged on some silver, which I forgot to record. This was so I had an undercoat for when I was painting the next panels, because I decided to do it in block colours in other sections, so it wasn't 100% match everywhere. Felt like if he's an old robot, he's going to repair and replace parts, so sometimes the colours are going to match, sometimes they are going to match. I painted the bandages, the little bandana that I put around his neck, and the hat white. I changed my mind about the hat after the fact, because I preferred the brown to the white. I wanted originally for it to be like a hero character, so a white hat is a hero character in the western. But changed my mind and decided brown was a better option, because I could do more leather effect. For leather effects, the way I do it is this. I get myself a nice medium brown. Not too dark, not too light. Remember, I tend to wash my models, so this works best for me. If you're not going to wash them, I'd say start off really dark and work your way up to light. But yeah, a nice medium brown. And then I mix in a little bit of yellow. It doesn't have to be a bright yellow, just a yellow. And then I use that to highlight. Now, just going around the edges. After that, I will wait for that to dry, then I get a little bit of white and I mix it in with that brown yellow combo. Just brightens it up a bit, and then I do like a really fine edge highlight. Make sure it's quite watery, so it's opaque, you can see through it. No, it's opaque to see through, or not, I can't remember. Anyway, you want to be able to see through it, so thin coats, and then just touch those edges. This brings out all those fine details. Also makes you feel like one of those proper YouTube painters. You know what you're doing. I feel like Midwinter Minis, like I know what I'm talking about. And I'm just slapping paint on plastic. Just hoping for the best, yeah.
Hi. I want to start by saying sorry. This isn't my best work. I did enjoy making the thing and I wanted to show it off. So I want to apologise if the video wasn't up to my standard. If you have made it this far and you're not a normal subscriber, please like and subscribe. I appreciate everyone that does. I try my best to respond to all the comments. I also want to say thank you for being patient to my current subscribers, because I've had to have some time off because I'm a new dad. So, and all the fun that comes with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Now it's time for the glam shots. See you next time.